My roommate called in sick to work, but I overheard her real reason. I knew I had to get revenge. I watched the clock hit 8:59 a.m. My roommate was snoring in the next room. I made a conscious decision to sip my coffee instead of waking her up. I'm 25. I work at a high-stakes marketing agency with my roommate, Jessica. She's 26. We've lived together for 2 years. We generally get along. But lately, things have been tense. We're both up for the same promotion, a senior strategist role with a $20,000 raise. Yesterday was prep day for our biggest client pitch of the year. At 3 p.m., Jessica slumped over her desk. She claimed she had a blinding migraine. She begged me to finish the data analysis for the slide deck. She wanted to go home and sleep it off before the big 9 a.m. Zoom presentation today. Being a good friend, I agreed. I stayed at the office until 8 p.m. doing her work, but that's not even the worst part. I got home around 9 p.m. exhausted. At 1 a.m., I woke up to get water. The walls in our apartment are paper thin. I heard Jessica on the phone with her boyfriend. She wasn't whispering. She was laughing, hysterically. I heard her say, verbatim, "I played the migraine card so the poster would grind out the boring stats. Now I'll look fresh and genius tomorrow while she looks tired. It's strategy, babe." I stood in the hallway, shaking with rage. I went back to bed and didn't sleep a wink. This morning, the 9 a.m. Zoom pitch rolled around. Usually, we have a pact to wake each other up if an alarm fails. I was set up in the living room, looking professional. I could hear her soft snoring through her closed door. I didn't knock, I didn't text. The VP of marketing logged on and asked, "Where's Jessica?" I looked into the camera and said, "She went home sick yesterday. She might still be under the weather." I presented the deck solo. I absolutely crushed it. The client loved the data I compiled. Jessica woke up at 10:45 a.m. She burst out of her room, saw the time, and screamed. She missed the meeting entirely. Our boss is furious and sent her a scathing email about reliability. She is currently sobbing in the kitchen. She's accusing me of sabotaging her career. She says I broke girl code because I knew she was asleep. She says even if she lied, I crossed a line by messing with her livelihood. So, am I the a-hole? Did I overreact, or did she deserve it? Let me know what you think. I threatened to cancel my wedding because my future mother-in-law hired my fiancé's ex as the wedding singer. I'm a 26-year-old woman. I'm supposed to marry Liam, he's 28, in just 6 days. But I'm sitting in a hotel room right now, wondering if I should even show up. My future mother-in-law, Brenda, is in her 50s. She's never hidden the fact that she wishes Liam married his high school sweetheart, Sarah. It's weird, but Brenda still has a framed photo of Liam and Sarah from prom in her hallway. I've ignored it for 3 years to keep the peace. To help with our tight budget, Brenda offered to pay for the wedding entertainment. She said it was her gift. We were thrilled because bands are expensive. She told us she found a local acoustic group giving her a great deal. Yesterday was the final venue walkthrough. The band was setting up for a sound check. I walked in and froze. The lead singer turned around, and it was Sarah. I felt like I'd been punched. I looked at Brenda, and she had this innocent, wide-eyed look. She said, "Sarah is trying to launch her wedding business. She's doing the whole reception for $400. Isn't that a blessing?" I pulled Liam aside immediately. He looked uncomfortable but shrugged. He said, "Baby, the deposit is paid. It's awkward, but it saves us like $2,000. She's just a vendor now." I tried to be cool. Then I walked over to the amp to see the set list. The song listed for our first dance wasn't the one we picked. It was "I'll Be" by Edwin McCain, which Brenda has mentioned multiple times was Liam and Sarah's song. I lost it. I turned to Brenda and said, "You did this on purpose. Either she goes, or there is no wedding." Brenda started sobbing. She was screaming that I was an insecure brat ruining her gift. She said Sarah needed this exposure. Sarah just stood there awkwardly tuning her guitar. Liam told me I was being a bridezilla and embarrassing him in front of an old friend. I walked out. Liam is blowing up my phone. He says I need to apologize to his mom because she's threatening to pull funding for the catering too. Am I the a-hole for refusing to have his ex serenade us at our wedding? Did I overreact, Or is my future mother-in-law completely out of line? Let me know what you think. My husband is a secret millionaire, but that's not even the worst part. I literally just threw up in my kitchen sink, and my hands are shaking so hard, I can barely type this. I'm a 28-year-old woman. My husband, who is 32, has always been the struggling creative type. He tells everyone he's a freelance technical writer. Since we got married 3 years ago, I've carried us financially. I work double shifts as an ER nurse to cover our $2,200 rent in Chicago. My husband contributes maybe $500 a month. On a good month. Last week, I sat on the floor crying. My car needed a $1,200 transmission fix, and we didn't have it. He just hugged me and said, "We'll figure it out, babe. Money isn't everything." Well, today he went to the gym. He left his iPad unlocked on the couch. I went to close a YouTube tab and saw a dashboard for Amazon KDP open. I clicked it, and I found out Mark isn't a technical writer. He is Raven DeVille, a famous romance author in the spicy enemies to lovers niche. I checked the reports. In the last 12 months alone, he has netted $240,000. $200, $40,000, $1,000. While I'm scrubbing trauma off scrubs for minimum wage, he's sitting on $250,000. But that's not even the worst part. I started reading his latest draft. It's titled The Nurse's Burden Asterisk. The main character is me. Not loosely based on me, it is me. He describes a scar I have on my left hip. He describes the way I grind my teeth in my sleep. But the way he writes the husband's internal monologue is gut-wrenching. He describes the wife character as suffocatingly average and an anchor dragging him down. In the final chapter of the draft, the husband character drains their joint account. He buys a one-way ticket to Italy and leaves a note saying, "Thanks for the material." I dug through his gym bag when he got home 20 minutes ago. He was in the shower. I found a receipt for a storage unit I didn't know existed, and a brochure for a villa rental in Tuscany. He's in the kitchen right now making pasta. He's humming, asking me how my shift was. Do I confront him about the money and admit I snooped? Or do I take half the savings before he can enact his book's ending? I feel like I'm living with a stranger who has been studying me like a lab rat. What would you do in this situation? Let me know in the comments. I ran a DNA test on my adopted son. The results made me throw up. My husband had been hiding something huge. I'm 29. My husband, Mark, is 32. We spent 4 agonizing years trying to conceive. We spent over $40,000 on IVF. It drained our savings. We almost divorced from the stress. Then, 3 years ago, Mark came home with a miracle. He said a distant acquaintance from college needed to find a private placement for her baby boy. She was going to rehab. We skipped the agency waitlists. We paid the legal fees. We brought Leo, now 5, home. I fell in love with Leo instantly. He is my world. But as he got older, things got weird. Leo has Mark's exact nose, a slightly crooked bridge from a break Mark had in high school. They both have a rare allergy to strawberries. When I'd joke about them being twins, Mark would get defensive. He'd snap, "Don't be crazy. Genetics are just random." Last month, Ancestry had a sale. Mark refused to do one. He claimed the government steals your data. So I bought a kit for Leo. I told Mark it was for a school family tree project. I swabbed his cheek while Mark was at work. The email came through this morning while I was making coffee. I clicked the link. I expected to see a mix of European heritage. Instead, under Close Family, I saw a match. Mark's sister, my sister-in-law, listed as aunt first cousin. I did the math. The timeline matches perfectly with a boys' trip Mark took to Vegas 6 years ago. He didn't find a random baby. He knocked up a fling. He waited until she couldn't handle the kid. Then, he manipulated my infertility trauma to bring his biological son into our house, under the guise of adoption. Right now, Mark is upstairs reading the Gruffalo asterisk to Leo. I can hear them doing the character voices. He's a fantastic father, but he looked me in the eye for 3 years. He let me believe we were saving a stranger's child, when really, I was just the free nanny for his secret. If I confront him, I blow up my family. I might lose Leo in a custody battle, since Mark is the biological dad, but I can't look at my husband without wanting to scream. Do I keep the secret for Leo's sake, Or do I destroy everything to get the truth out? What would you do in this situation? Let me know in the comments.